Hello.
Hey, hey everybody.
Welcome.
Today, welcome.
Welcome
Welcome to Blue
to
Ascension
Yay.
live stream.
Yeah, Reboot for the Rebound. Today we're going to be talking about email marketing and
Yes.
a lot of different things about it. The big things we're going to get on today were why is it so important? There's a lot of reasons for that. Um, the How it's set up and the different platforms that we use. We'll give a few of our favorites and why we like them. Um, how it all works together, and we have some diagrams and things to show, and we'll actually get into the weeds a little bit and kind of show a setup and maybe a few
hmm
basic ways. The main thing we want to get out of this is for all of us is um, we use it more and unblocking some of those things that keep us from
Right.
doing that. So
Yeah, absolutely. Yeah. Yeah, like that's a really good point, Andrew. Email marketing to me is like the old new thing. Because email marketing's been around a long time, and now with changes in algorithms and all that, it's just becoming more and more important and done well. I'm so excited about it. It's like gold for your customer relationships and building that trust over time. So we're super excited to be here today and sharing this with you. So, gonna dive in.
yeah, and for people here, write down some of the things that you think are keeping people from doing more email marketing, getting it set up, sending more
hmm
newsletters or email communications to your fans and your group.
Right.
We'd love to hear your thoughts. And as we go through, don't hesitate to share your questions and thoughts, as well as as we dive more into the depths of this to
hmm
get more out of your digital marketing for your business. We want to provide more detailed examples and things as we go forward.
Yeah.
So don't hesitate, and we'll see what we can do in future videos. So let's get started. Uh, why don't you kind of kick us off here a little bit about
Yeah.
why it's important
You
and
bet.
a little bit of your
You
thoughts here,
bet.
Cara.
Yeah. Yes. So we all know that, especially right now, social media is changing all the time. It always changes all the time with algorithm shifts and all that. And the beautiful thing about email marketing, and it's not just your newsletter, it can have other components as well, but we'll talk about just the broad idea of email marketing, is that you own that list. These are your customers, and this might be kind of weird, but I look at it like they're giving you their email, and that's a big trust issue. So they're essentially inviting you into their living room, their bathroom, wherever it is that they read their email, they're inviting you in there on purpose. So it's a big trust issue for somebody to give an email, and we want to really respect that and provide value and interesting content, and it's an opportunity for your business to really shine and share the heart of what you're doing. So
Yeah, and
yeah.
yeah, it's a great start. And one of the, um, other thoughts on this is why it's getting more and more important is that as we see social media is always changing their reach and how they um, drive and let you connect to your fans. So, if you have a
Right.
Facebook page or an Instagram page, and let's say you have 1,000 people, uh, if you put out a post, not all 1,000 people of your fans, even though they
That's
subscribe to
true.
yours, will get your notices, depending on the platform, of course, and it's always changing. So, um, you know, uh, this is one place where, depending on how you set up your email system and being disciplined in how you send and working with
hmm
your fans to make sure they put their emails in their inboxes and kind of make sure it's not in the spam boxes and kind of adjust your email practices. Definitely, you have much greater reach, and as well as there's a lot of people that aren't on social media. So I
That's
think
true.
that's something
That's a very good point.
to note as well.
Yeah, that's a very good point. Yeah, and we're seeing more and more of our clients that maybe half of their audiences are not on social. They're not. They get emails. They don't want to be on social. They used to. They never have been. Whatever. So good point, Andrew. Yeah, it's another way to really reach people.
And that's a good point. As we're let us introduce ourselves. My
Hello.
name's Andrew,
I'm
and
Cara.
Cara, and we're from Blue Ascension. We're a digital marketing agency, and we work with businesses to bring them online, to connect with their customers and provide value. Help them provide value to their customers and do the heavy lifting on the digital side, and really help them spread their voices and focus on their businesses while we focus on helping them communicate through digital media. So that's us, and that's what we're doing. And we're also enjoy sharing what we're learning and our journey along the way, and we'd love to share that with you. And that's why we're starting these series. We call this series "Reboot for the Rebound." As we said, there's a lot of business affected, a lot of strange things happening in the world right now, and we're really saying, hey, how do we leverage the tools that we have with us to meet and work with your customers?
Yeah, absolutely. Yeah. It's just, yeah, we love it. We love helping businesses reach their customers and just, yeah. There's so much goodness. We want to focus on the goodness and getting out your special stories and that kind of thing. So email marketing is a great way to do it.
Yeah. So why don't you share some of the your thoughts on what's good emails and what do we think are bad
Yeah.
emails, and what does that look like?
Yes, definitely have some thoughts on that. So we all have subscribed probably to email lists, and we're very hopeful at the beginning. Like I said, I'm giving you my email address. I really trust you to honor this and be respectful of this. And then we either get nothing, which is really sad. It's like I really wanted to hear from this company and I don't get anything. Or we start getting just kind of spammy sell, heavy, pushy, that kind of thing. Or it's these really long emails. And I'm a writer, so I love words, but even then, too long is too long. So really long form with the button at the bottom to buy something. And we really want to focus on emails that are not all about sales. I mean, definitely sales is part of your platform, but engaging with your customer and showing your heart. So an email, I get one from a local company, and I really like their product, but their email is just, it's almost like flashing coupons in the whole email. And I kind of read it to see what really great deal I can get, but after that I don't resonate with it. And then there's other ones that I just unsubscribe to because they just don't fit my needs. And I feel like there's kind of a loss of trust or a loss of respect there with that. So they don't have to be boring. They should actually really show your heart and have fun with them. And don't be afraid to share stories and really, what you're up to in your company and something cool that's going on or a struggle that you're doing. So we'll talk about content much deeper in another stream. But tonight, yeah, we're just gonna talk about some ideas for good content. The other ones are,
Yeah, and just real quick on
yeah,
that, you talked about, the good parts too, is that, we see a lot of bad emails, but we're also on some good ones as well.
yes,
Some
some
we
really
know
good
are
ones.
automated, and we'll talk about that in different ways and how sometimes that's a really good thing. As well as, what are some good aspects of those. And like Cara stated, we're going to talk a lot about newsletters in a separate stream, like really focus on those and maybe themes and other
The
ideas.
content, yeah.
But really, we see the most results, and we'll talk about metrics and how do you look at your results and how those are actually driving traffic to your offers and other ideas, and how we can have a very nice view of that within our analytics and our email marketing. But really is that transparency and that, being a real person. And again, we all know that you're spending time on your email marketing to connect with your customers and your fans, but ultimately, as you get to know people, and when I say get to know, they get to know you through your emails and sharing a little bit about you and your as a person, so or as a company, or the things that you are you think are important to share, and I think that that's even more important nowadays. So I think that's a
Yeah.
good thing.
Yeah.
So yeah, keep
Very
going.
good.
Yeah,
Yeah. Yeah. Just know that, I think maybe a pain point for people that haven't set up their email marketing system yet is the tech, and we're going to go through that in a little bit today, and then deeper with future streams, really get into the tech and help you get all set up. But also just the thought that, oh my gosh, this is like an English essay and it has to be all perfect and correct and stuff. And people are very forgiving, and they really, like Andrew said, they want to see the heart of the business and what's going on. So they can be, again, we'll talk about content, but they can be pretty short or rather long. It doesn't matter. But I think the overarching thing is to share something of value that you would want to read for some reason from a company. And we do have some, like some wine ones that we both love wine, so we get a lot of wine newsletters, and there's some that are just so good. Look forward to them every month, and that's where you want to be with your customers, and you will be there with your customers.
Yeah, and we talked about that. Yeah, and builds that customer trust, that conversation, sharing valuable information. You don't always, like Kara talked about earlier, like having having not just sales on everything, but I know there's lots of different ways to talk about it, but maybe a 4-to-1 is maybe, or 3-to-1. Like you have
Yeah.
three pieces of content that maybe you're providing value, and then maybe you have your ask or call to action. I think people always expect that. But if it's all the calls to action or all, your
Right.
thoughts, then,
Right.
or
All
sorry,
sales.
all just sales stuff, then sometimes it kind of turns you off a little bit.
Yeah.
And then it's not just email newsletters too, and we'll talk about
Right.
that. There's a lot of different things that we can use as well. So let's talk. Maybe we'll bring up our kind of overview of what
Yeah.
an email marketing platform is. Did you have anything to add there,
Yeah.
Cara?
Yeah, just while you're bringing that up, Andrew, we really focus at Blue Ascension on the whole. I like to use the word holistic, like the really holistic approach of digital marketing. So it's not just social, it's not just email marketing, it's not just one thing. It all really ties together. And when all those elements are talking to each other and playing well, we've seen the results be so much more effective and powerful than just focusing on one platform or something. So Andrew's going to bring up a graphic that's going to show how email marketing fits in with all the other components of a good digital marketing campaign. Or not even just campaign, but just your digital marketing approach day to day.
So this is an example, and this is just a few different ideas we jotted down that we wanted to share. Um, so we talked a little bit about traffic, and there's three. There's a discussion that there's three basic types of traffic that we always kind of always focus on. What are those traffic pieces, because they all have different amounts of control and different ways to use them. And the first one is the traffic we control, and that's really when you have true control over anything. And when you say control, we say that through paid ads, a lot of times that you can set up who you want to send your content to, set rules and how many people you want to send it to, and tracking those metrics. And that's really the paid ads side. But of course, if you don't have your marketing message down and your landing pages and all that other stuff, it could be a waste of money. But it also it's also good to dive in there once in a while. Additionally, traffic we don't control, and this is your true social media, your SEO. There's ways to affect it, but definitely we don't have a lot of control over what those are. And then what we're talking about today is the traffic. Technically, don't own anything, but you are owner of your list. People are subscribing, opting into your lists, and they're giving you their emails, and you can take those with you and to different email marketing platforms. Again, as long as you're following those consistent rules that we talked about.
Right.
And so the structure, and again, overview, and a lot of you probably know a lot about this, and again, we just kind of, this is for everybody, is that your website's kind of your main marketing tool, and there you have places to sign up for your newsletter, You might have opt-ins that you want to share. You might have interesting content. There might be membership content that you can share to your members specifically. You can have paid memberships. There's lots of different things you can do. And so today we're focusing on the traffic we own, the email system, the newsletters, the lists, and how do people get signed up onto your list. And there's lots of different ways. It's not just your newsletter sign up button. And that people might, sometimes you go to fairs and things, you write down your name and you hope that you maybe get on that piece of paper. And sometimes it's fun to put your email in and see how long it takes for the first email to come across. And that's always an interesting test as a marketer. And even if, like Car said, we're interested in a wine thing that you go to or a wine presentation and you go and you say, I want to sign up to their list. And then you sign up on a piece of paper and you don't receive anything for months at a time. It kind of, it's almost do more damage than good, right, Car?
Right, exactly. Yeah. Yeah, because you're interested enough. I mean, you're probably really excited to give that your email to get something from that company, and like, yay, it's like Christmas, and then nothing happens. Not even coal, just nothing. So that's sad. That's sad.
So, maybe we'll start to go into the email marketing list and or the email marketing platform and kind of where it starts. Yeah. We didn't talk a lot about this, but a lot of people say, hey, maybe I can send emails out from my personal email. And there's lots of different reasons for this, but ultimately for deliverability, getting into people's spam boxes, and to also there's no way to control and note that you have permission from people. A lot of the email marketing platforms kind of build all this into one way: deliverability, getting your lists segmented and getting them set up, having automations, welcome emails, right, Cara? Our opt-ins, and then also getting that consent and getting that built in. So if people want to unsubscribe, you can't really unsubscribe from your personal email unless then you might get spam complaints, and thus ultimately there's a lot of things that comes into that.
That's very true. And sometimes even if you're using your personal Yahoo or Gmail account and you're sending out 300 emails. I actually had this happen. We had a new business account and we were sending just some warm emails to existing clients and people that we'd already met, but it had a similar tagline or a similar subject line, and we got blocked for a bit because it looked like we were sending spam, and we weren't sending spam at all. But that's a danger too. So using your personal email address it has a lot of risks, and actually you'll probably get a little slam for it. Plus it's probably going to go into people's spam box, and then you won't also be able to track the metrics and the open rates and click-throughs, and those are important data points later on to see how effective it is. So we're going to talk about a few email platforms that we like and what the benefits are and that kind of thing.
Yeah, and we always like to have a little fun. We found a little GIF yesterday, but we found the little cat coming up here, and
like
this is one of my favorite kind of mail delivery ones.
I want the mail. I want the mail. I want the mail. I want the mail. That's how people can feel about your newsletter.
They want to be so excited that then they go and open it right away. So I think it's kind of fun. So
exactly.
So like I said, it's all a lot of fun, and again, it's really exciting. As we start to see more and more, working with lots of different clients and lots of different industries, of those how that really can affect people.
Yeah. And
it's really to us, I think one of the biggest things that we get out of it and we learn is that, and it makes us feel good, is that we get feedback from our clients to say, hey, we got an email today, or we got somebody called in to get a product in, and they said, hey, we love your emails, how can we get our friends signed up on it, and things like that. So that's some of the good things, as well as them making sales and driving traffic to their sites and things like that. So I think that's kind of the biggest thing. Yeah. So today we're going to just do a little exercise. I thought it might be fun. Car and I talked about how it's a good way to demonstrate this, but we thought we might just set up a short little demo. And so if you haven't seen the email system, there's a lot of different email marketing platforms out there. Ranging
Sure.
from super simple to medium complexity and super complex, very
Yeah.
expensive
Yeah.
for big businesses that are delivering, hundreds of different funnels and hundreds of different automations and things like that. And you definitely don't want to get too complex in the beginning before you even get started. I know a lot of people use a mail system called MailChimp. We tend to use a lot of different ones based off of clients' needs and how they may already have
Right.
things set up. And the cool thing is that definitely you think that, hey, we're on a certain system, and technically all you really need is your email address and your email marketing platform and your list. So you can export your list pretty much from any system, and you can import it into any
Yeah.
system. Now, depending on how active you are, you may have all your automation set up and all your welcome series and your history and different newsletters. So that could be a pain, but ultimately you can move, and especially if you're not super have all that content that you need in doing using uh, a new email system based off of maybe you really expanded and now you're sending a lot more.
Right.
How is it? How are you spending 100 a month? Are you spending 30 a month? Are you spending 500 a month? And is it worth it? You want to talk about deliverability, all that stuff. So as your different stages, you may change your email marketing platform. So I think we tend to use and start people off on a simple one that we like. It's just it's free up to 1,000 people. We like it because it's called MailerLite, and we like it because it's easy to use, pretty clean interface. It has some nice automations, and it hooks into a lot of the tools that we do, and there's a lot of integrations. And that's the second thing we'll talk a little bit about. But how do you get email into your email list? We're going to show a simple way. One of the most important ways is your email form, right, Karasan?
That's
Is
right.
that getting people on your email list through a form is one of the most basic ways. A lot of the email marketing services have ways for you to build a form, and then you can pop that into your website. We tend to work with different form builders. We have Elementor, or we use Fluent Forms or other form builders that have integrations to MailerLite. But definitely the more not every email system has integrations, and sometimes it can be hard.
Right.
We also use webinars and other things to get email addresses in there. So it's important to pick an email system that integrates with a lot of stuff. So MailerLite's a pretty good one to start with, and so we're going to start with that. Does that sound good, Cara?
Sounds good. Yep.
All right.
Yep. Yeah.
Let's get started here. So I'm going to bring up my... So this is MailerLite. This is a pretty simple. We have a test account here, and we basically an email marketing at the highest level is your email list, right?
Yep.
And the list is basically a list of email addresses on that.
Right.
Now, as you get more complex and you want to have different rules and things set up, you might want to have different lists. We have events. Maybe you're having a big event over the summer, and then you have your event tickets already automated there, so you can let your ticket holders know about your events coming up. And then after a while, then you can opt them into getting on your list. You can merge lists, lots of different things. You can have vendors on a list, your attendees on a list. And then you can send different emails to different people.
Right.
But we're going to start with something simple. I want to do a newsletter. And we created our basic one called My Newsletter Group. And a group is basically your list in here. Here, the other basic component, we're not going to go into this a lot, but it's automations. You want to talk a little bit about automations
Yeah,
and
you
maybe
bet.
a few basic examples?
You bet. One of the biggest and most obvious automations that you'll see as a user or a subscriber will be that welcome email, that automated response that you get as soon as you sign up online for an email. You enter your email and click submit. You're going to get that welcome email. We call them a welcome email. And it's going to be auto response. So the beautiful thing about that is you don't have to type out an email to everybody who subscribes. It sends your nice messaging, and it also lets that person know right away that, yeah, we want you here. We're excited you're here. Welcome. And that's why we call them a welcome email. So that's one of the biggest automations to really think about as you're starting your email list. And then
Yeah, and real quick
later
on
on,
that
it can
one.
get really complex.
Yeah, yeah, and we talked about like sometimes you may sign up for an email at a physical location, like an event or something, and that's nice too. If even if you have an automation, is that you could write in those emails and then put them into the automation bucket, and so then they automatically get those emails. So a few days later, when you are able to add those addresses in, then they get a welcome email, and that might share a little bit about your business. And of course, if they signed up, they're looking forward to getting to know you as a business and all that. So there's lots of more advanced ways, and we're going to go into those as well, opt-ins and other things, right, Cara?
We are. We are.
So, automations are pretty simple. We'll talk about those later on, but we'll have some fun examples of setting up an opt-in for a welcome email, and maybe we'll do an opt-in where you might sign up for a ebook or something, and then people subscribe to that, and then they automatically get the downloadable, and we go forth. So the other way is like, how do we connect to our email marketing? So again, you can work through the email marketing tool itself, but in our case, a lot of times you can work through integrations, and we talk about that. And the biggest one is your basic API, and that's basically a key to your door, and it's usually a secret key basically that says, hey, only a few people know this, and you keep those kind of guarded. And then you can grab theirs for MailerLite. All you do is go to integrations, you click on this, use, and then you copy the key, and that's that simple. And then once you get the key, then you go to your tool, and then you add that into the integrations. And each tool is a little different. We're going to use an example today of a basic landing page. So this is our basic Elementor landing page. We had some fun just creating nothing exciting. But usually, at a minimum, you want to drive what's the value of you signing up to these for your list. You want to talk a little bit about the value and maybe some ideas that you've seen and things.
Yeah, we'd call this an opt-in or it might be a pop-up or some other place on your site, but it gives them a little snapshot, a little snippet of the benefits that they're going to get when they sign up. So this is, Greeking from Carl Sagan. Actually, it's pretty fun, Greeking information in there. But just give them a little bit about what it's going to be exciting about them when they get their email, their newsletter. Because again, that's going to reinforce the messaging that you have and that kind of thing. And then make it really simple. Like we've seen some forms that require all this stuff. And you've seen those too. And it's like, bail. I usually bail. Like, yeah, you don't need to know that much. I'll give you my name and my email. that's what you're going to get. So make it pretty simple.
Yeah, and that's a good point. And so, it's a good segue in there, Cara. So when you collect information, you have to have required fields, and then you can have optional as well. So if you make all your fields required and you really don't need them, if you're running a business and maybe you're getting people into a course or another thing, you might need some of that stuff. But do you need their physical address, and do you need their phone number? Probably not, right? So a lot of times email systems, you see a few different ways. They might have, and again, I have it set up on basic right now, and we wouldn't use all these fields normally. So this is what automatically pops up when you drag and drop into the field editor here. But there's a few thoughts on this. Some people try to collect the name and the email itself, but ultimately your whole point is to get people on, especially on your newsletters, is to get people on there. So a lot of newsletters nowadays just have email, And so,
Yeah.
do you need the name? Sometimes you can customize it, but we've seen a lot when you look at the back end and you look at all the tools. A lot of times you don't see good information. Usually, people put fake stuff in there anyway. So, is it really, if you're now saying, hey, fake, if they put Fred and their name something else, or when you
Yeah.
automatically respond to that, you're gonna be, it may look weird. So one
Right.
thought is just to have your email. So we're gonna just use email today. So today we're gonna get rid of the name, and we're gonna get rid of the message. So now we need to let the system know where, what, now we need to map it to here. So
Yeah.
we're gonna, in Elementor, and this is just, there's lots of different ways to do this. You need to say, after you click your send or your submit button, what do you do with this information?
Mm-hmm.
And it's really easy. You just click in the thing, and you can add. There's lots of different, MailerLite, ConvertKit, Mailchimp, and there's some other ways to do that. We added the MailerLite, and when you add those, like, in Elementor, then it then adds an additional drop down. So from here, we can see that you can set a default for your whole website, but in our case, we put here, this isn't the whole key, we don't want to show the whole key, but basically custom here. And then you can see my newsletter group, and we go back to here, and now this is the same newsletter group as we can see here.
Mm-hmm.
So
Mm-hmm.
it's already connected, and it's already said, hey, I know I can see you. And the last thing that you do is then we say what fields are going to map to what fields in the mail system. So for example, here we're going to say that our email that we're pulling in from the form is going to map to the email in the newsletter system.
Mm-hmm.
And realistically, all you really need to do is then save it. And you might do your formatting and have some fun and
Mm-hmm.
do that. But then we come here, and now you can see, again, this is just a test, a basic a form that's pulled up here. And then you can put in your email, and then it will come through, and it will hit your subscriber, and then
Exactly.
how many people are coming in, and that's kind of a basic flow.
Mm-hmm.
We are trying to show basic things, that's not as big a deal. And how do we remove any obstacles for you to
Right.
get those signed up? And there's lots of tutorials online. Your website, or even your mail system, definitely has lots of different ways to add newsletter sign up forms and things like that, and how to embed them. It's
Mm-hmm.
pretty easy. But even if it isn't, there's a lot of learning tools online, or type, in your favorite live streams or streams, tell them, asking them, hey, how do we do certain things? And sometimes they're able to, answer some of those questions, or, live, or even in future sessions. So I think that's kind of our first gate in getting,
Mm-hmm.
our email into
Yeah.
the system. And now is the fun part. Now the fun part begins. Is now we have
Right.
their email, and that's where
Right.
the journey begins. Is just
Uh-huh.
getting started. So
That's absolutely right. Yeah, and if you want to go to that Miller Lite screen again, Andrew, after you get your list and you've sent a few messages, either your auto response or a separate issue, then we don't have any subscribers yet because we're branding right here today. But say we have 200 subscribers. Eventually, when we get those subscribers, we're going to be able to tell from that email how many people opened it, how many
1 second, keep going.
links they clicked on, and that's going to show you how people are engaging with that newsletter, that content, that kind of thing. And that's going to help you know in the future what to concentrate on, what maybe not to do, how to pivot, that kind of thing. And it's also going to show you which subscribers didn't open it. So that might be, that's just good information to have. Like, they subscribe but they're not opening it. Why is that? Later on, we'll talk about cleaning your list, because that's important to keep that active and have people opening it. But there's a lot of data right here that if you were sending them again from your personal Gmail or Yahoo account, you won't get this kind of this kind of metrics, and this can be really helpful to see what people are resonating with and how to do more of that.
Exactly, and like Her said, once you send your email, there's a few things. We'll go over this in the newsletter reboot series,
Yeah.
but once you send your first email, the big things to think about is your content, of course, adding a little bit of good media, some pictures, potentially
Yeah.
a video, whatever, and then your title, because that's the first thing people see. Who's it from?
Yes.
Your title, maybe a snippet, and then it's the content. But as Carson was talking about, then you go to your metrics, and then the big metrics for them is open rate, how many people opened it, how many unsubscribes you had, and also if you have links in there, did they click through? And we'll talk about how we can make special links later on, and then that adds data to your analytics on your website. And we talked about that here, where you want to make sure that as people are coming to your site through links, is it a specific newsletter? Is it coming from your newsletter? Is it coming from social media? Is it coming from QR code, your business card, or just normal, like we talked about SEO and normal searches for your business? So we'll talk about that a little bit more down the road.
Yeah.
Analytics is a big, fun, exciting thing. I know everybody loves analytics.
Andrew's got like the propeller thing going on because
Right.
he loves that stuff, and I love that stuff from a different perspective. So I love it from telling you what the content's doing, but it also is telling you what the tech.
Telling the story, and as a business owner, both from a business owner perspective, or we're working with clients, how do you show that the campaign you're working on, or the proposal or ideas that you're putting out there in newsletter is actually building business? So it can get down to I tend to think of it as not as, hey, we run this report and you get this analytics. It's what questions is the data helping us answer? And when Google Analytics, I think we have 7 basic questions or 5 basic questions we try to ask. What are people viewing? Where are they coming from? What types of things are they looking at? How long are they staying? And again, are they buying things and other things? So we'll go in that in our analytics live streams, but definitely we're excited to keep going through this journey. So
yes.
what are a few big recaps for the day, Cara?
Well, to really think about your email list is gold. I mean, I think it is one of the biggest assets of your business now and going forward. Because again, people are inviting you into their living room. They trust you. They want to hear what you're saying. And that's a big deal. Big deal. So really think about that as gold for your business, and it's the way that you can reach your customers when you want to, respectfully, of course, and all that. But yeah, it gives you control over that. It does. And also that it doesn't have to be scary. We wanted to have this first intro overview to make it a little bit like, yeah, that's not so bad. Like if the tech kind of scares you, or it's intimidating, or you just haven't done it, or if you have and you're ready to step to another level, it's just steps. It's really just steps. So we're here to walk you through that, demystify it.
Yeah, and we're from, again, Blue Ascension Media and Blue Ascension, and our website's blueascension.com. And we're going to put a link in the description here about our Reboot series, and it talks about all the different areas of digital media. We have a huge article that's broken out easily. You can easily work through it and look through it.
Yeah.
But ultimately, the big thing on that is really just how to demystify a lot of the stuff, and really, not here's a quick little overview, but all the different contents, the web design, social media, email marketing, video, data analytics, marketing integrations, and we really break it down with examples and videos and things like that. So love you to come check it out, or put your thoughts on there or questions you have about it.
Right, love to hear.
But again, how do we demystify it, and how do we help you get, again, we call it Reboot for the Rebound, but it's really how do you get online and get digital so you can focus on really providing what you do best, which is that providing that value as a business, right?
Yeah.
So be sure to follow us, subscribe, and on your various social media channels, and we are really excited to keep continuing to work with you, and let us know what you thought, and we will see you here soon.
We'll see you soon. Yes.
All right.
All right.
Oh, wait,
Take
we've
care.
got to do the.
Wait, we have our mascot. We have a mascot.
Thing. See our cat has a little
Yay.
fun. He's coming through. He's gonna do this. He's gonna deliver us.
He's very helpful. Very helpful.
Yeah, and then and of course we got our little cat jam going on here. So. All right.
Thanks everybody. Thanks for listening, and
Bye-bye.
be well.